Imagine this. You are standing at the edge of your greatest dream made manifest. The career, the relationship, the creative triumph is finally within reach. A tangible reality awaiting only your final step forward. And as you gaze into it, a cold electric dread coils in your stomach. Your heart doesn't soar. It seizes. A voice, ancient and visceral, whispers not of congratulations, but of warning. So you hesitate. You create a problem where none exists. You sabotage the opportunity with a master skill, or you simply turn and walk away, back into the familiar gray of your former life. You have just met the central paradox of your existence. The thing you desire most is also the thing you are most terrified to hold. Why? Why does the soul both ache for and flee from its own fulfillment? This is not simple fear of failure. That is too shallow. This is the terror of success, a deep ontological shudder at the prospect of becoming the person who actually possesses that desire. For in claiming it, your old self, the one defined by longing, by safe struggle, by the comforting story of someday, must die. The dream is a mirror, and in its reflection, you see not just glory, but the obliterating responsibility of your own potential. What dark alchemy within us transforms gold into lead, ambition into anxiety? The answer lies not in your conscious mind, but in the shadowed architecture of your psyche, where a hidden war is waged between your deepest yearning and your oldest fear. The sabotage is not a flaw, but a perverse form of self-preservation. To understand it, you must descend into the underworld of the psyche, where Carl Jung's shadow resides. This is the repository of everything you have been taught to reject. Your raw power, your grandiosity, your unapologetic brilliance. Your deepest desire often emanates from this shadow, pulsating with an energy your conscious mind deems dangerous. To embrace the desire is to integrate the shadow, to acknowledge you contain a universe, both light and dark, that society has conditioned you to fragment. Herein lies the psychological trap. We are conditioned for manageable misery, not unbridled sovereignty. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this clearly, diagnosing the slave morality that privileges humility over ambition, safety over expansion. To want something profoundly is to assert your will, to risk the resentment of the herd, and to shoulder the dizzying freedom of defining your own values. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre called this the agony of choice. In the void of pure possibility, your desire is a weighty commitment that conjures you into being. The fear, then, is not of the thing itself, but of the existential earthquake it triggers, the collapse of the familiar narrative you've built to avoid the terrifying burden of being truly, wholly responsible for your own existence. You fear the desire because it is a doorway, and on the other side stands a self you have been taught to exile. What unseen chains must break to walk through? If these hidden psychological forces resonate with you, subscribe to continue this descent into the shadows. Let me know in the comments, what desire fills you with that peculiar sense of dread? This silent civil war does not remain a private psychic event. It bleeds out, shaping the very fabric of your reality through a cascade of unseen consequences. You live in a self-created limbo, a purgatory of your own making. Cognitive biases like self-handicapping and the imposter syndrome become your unconscious armor, preemptively explaining away any potential success to protect you from its shock. Neurologically, your brain, wired for predictability, begins to interpret the dopamine surge of desire as a threat signal, rerouting ambition into circuits of anxiety. This is how longing curdles into quiet despair. Culturally, you are conditioned for this. Aldous Huxley's Brave New World warned of a society pacified by pleasure and distraction, where profound desire is medicated away as destabilizing. We are subtly guided toward manageable goals that sustain the system, not transcendental ones that shatter our personal ceilings. The consequence is a life of ambient resignation. You become a ghost in your own story, haunted by the phantom version of yourself who was brave enough to act. Your relationships, your work, your daily mood, all are colored by this unclaimed energy, which metastasizes into regret, cynicism, or a passive-aggressive resentment toward those who dared to step into their own light. You are not living your life, you are guarding against it. But what force could possibly be strong enough to break such a deeply entrenched and self-reinforcing trap? The rebellion begins with a single heretical shift. Stop viewing the fear as a stop sign and start recognizing it as the most precise compass you possess. The magnitude of your terror is directly proportional to the importance of the desire. This is the counterintuitive key. The goal is not to eliminate the fear, but to interpret it correctly as the shadow's frantic alarm at the impending death of the old, limited self. Your task is not a fight, but a solemn integration. You must turn and face the exiled part of you that wants this so desperately, it would rather sabotage it than be rejected again. This demands a conscious invocation of Viktor Frankl's insight. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies your power and freedom. When the dread arises, you must pause and with brutal compassion, interrogate it. What version of me must die if I succeed? The rebellion is performed in small, daily acts of choosing the desire alongside the fear. It is writing the first page while accepting it will be terrible. It is speaking your truth even as your voice shakes. You are not climbing over the fear. You are making it a passenger on the journey, draining its demonic power by acknowledging its presence without letting it steer. You begin building the new identity, brick by brick, through action. But what is the ultimate destination of this perilous, liberating journey? If this path of rebellion calls to you, subscribe for more guides on turning fear into fuel. Share your first act of defiance in the comments below. The ultimate truth is this: the object of your desire was never the real goal. It was merely the beacon. The crushing weight you feared was never the success, but the staggering, unbounded freedom you would have to wield upon receiving it. The final prison is the realization that there is no external permission slip, no finishing line that absolves you of choice. The dream achieved simply returns you responsible to yourself. It amplifies your existence, for better or worse. This is the terrifying, sublime payoff. Your deepest desire, once grasped, reveals itself as a mirror reflecting only your own capacity for creation and your own accountability for the world you now have the power to shape. This is the paradigm shift. The struggle was never about attaining something out there, but about preparing the psyche in here to bear the luminosity of its own potential. The fear was a shadow cast by your own imminent expansion. Now, standing in the light of what you once craved, you see the horizon has only expanded further. There is no arrival, only a continuous becoming. You are haunted not by failure, but by the infinite, beautiful responsibility of your own freedom. The journey begins and ends at the same point, with the courage to meet your own reflection in the heart of the abyss, and to choose yourself again and again without apology.